Hi Taurus, welcome to your March 2020 General Tarot reading. It's Rena here. Interesting. If you had some kind of a disappointment, I think that you dodged a bullet, even though in this moment it may feel like you may feel like you lost something, because the heart of the matter is a card that's associated with grieving the loss of something, and the person perceives it as a loss, but perhaps they are seeing things in a bit of a negative context, where, you know, it has been pointed out that there are two cups that the person, that are upright, that the person is not focused on, that they are focused on, you know, it's like, don't cry over spilled milk, you know. And this is in relationship to something that has to do with a personal relationship like marriage. The Ten of Cups can be that type of relationship. It can be like a family matter. Even, like, for instance, I am just interpreting it myself this way. I don't know if an expert who comes up with these things would agree with me, but I could even see like a child custody issue or an adoption. Something along those lines I could even see in that, where you wanted to add to the family and it didn't work out, and to trust in the universe. Actually, this is the higher message, and this is why I said dodging a bullet, because this is Seven of Swords, and it can be like going your own way with a particular matter, but it's not necessarily your choice. You may feel like you have to, that you're forced to go your own way. But sometimes what this card can indicate is deception. So an example would be that you thought you were going to get married and the other person backed out, and you're feeling the sense of disappointment and loss over it. And you're meant to be alone right now, and you will find out that that person was already involved with somebody else. And so you don't want somebody like that in your life. And one of the things that I notice happening, and people don't see it that way, is that when they find out that a person that they're involved with has been with some, you know, has also been having another relationship, and if for some reason that person chooses the other party, and they feel like the Five of Cups, they feel that sense of disappointment, it's really, to me, misguided. Actually, the person should feel relieved. But, you know, I know it's easy for me to say that because I'm not in that situation, but I just feel like that's such a deal breaker on many levels that you don't want to deal with that. A person like that. Another thing too with the Seven of Swords is kind of like saying, well, if somebody could do that to you, you can't trust them. So why are you shedding one tear for the loss of this relationship? And kind of putting it in that context of like, what, you know, why are you doing this? To get the individual to see how they are upset about someone who has not shown respect to them, has not shown that they value their relationship. And so it's important to honor yourself, even if it does hurt. Yes, of course it hurts. You're human. You know, I'm interpreting this primarily as relationship oriented, because we have two cups. But in general, any kind of disappointment, even like the disappointment of not receiving a promotion or something like that. And actually, in that particular case, the Seven of Swords is like, yes, now you're meant to do your own thing, perhaps. And we have in the challenge position the Two of Pentacles. Perhaps you've received an offer for a job overseas, perhaps, maybe even with this company, but you had your heart set on something else. You may want to reconsider. You may feel that it wasn't what you wanted, but perhaps it's a choice that you can make where it is, it's actually going to work out for you, even if you didn't realize it. Also with the Two of Pentacles, in terms of work prospects, you may be doing two jobs at once, and that may be hard to kind of get a handle on. If it's a personal relationship, being in that third-party situation and how that becomes very difficult and, or if the other party, has a hard time deciding what they want to do, it puts you in a state of limbo. So, in other words, three is a crowd, but if someone has said, I'm going to choose this other person, or maybe they want you to go along with the program and allow them to have their cake and eat it too, that's not going to work out. And if you do allow it because you think, I'm going to win this person over, that can just be a trap where you are not really investing in a relationship that shows a lot of promise, because it's already, has all these problems, and it's kind of questionable how the other person actually feels based on their behavior. That's the real thing that you have to go on with people, is their behavior, not what they're saying, not what they're promising, but what they're actually doing. What's coming in is the Page of Pentacles, so this can be if this is a work situation, news about a job, news about some kind of financial situation, money that you're to receive, or something along those lines. Maybe I didn't think of this. Maybe this is an inheritance issue, and you have a lot to grieve. Somebody could be trying to take your portion of the money, or even a divorce. I really didn't see it like that at first, but the Five of Cups to me is that you're sad about a loss. So with a divorce, with a marriage situation, if money is involved, there might be someone trying to hide their assets. The Seven of Swords. I usually read, though, when I read that position, it's more of a spiritual message than a literal interpretation of what that card represents. So that's where I would be a little bit iffy. But perhaps you could do so because as a spiritual message, it's telling you, do not be in denial or naive. That somebody is trying to do something, but you may just excuse it and say, oh, they would never do that, or it's not that big of a deal, try to minimize it. So the Page of Pentacles might be something that you receive as a message relating to job news, or some sort of money that is meant to come in. The Emperor, this is the outcome card. This is a card of the father. So that's why I was saying, with a inheritance. But this is a card like for you, if you are embodying the Emperor, where you feel more in control of things. And I feel like whatever this message is that it really brings clarity to your life in some way, an empowerment, where you feel like, perhaps you were upset about something, and rightfully so, but you were, attaching the loss. Maybe this was like, it's like on the emotional level, but I'm getting pentacles here, so I'm wondering if it was also monetary and that hurt you. So an example would be, you hear about a will, or in a divorce proceeding, there's like some kind of a fight with your ex, or with, in the case of an inheritance, with a family member, and that hurts you emotionally because you feel like you're being disregarded in some way by other people's greed. That's the best way I can put it. And therefore, it kind of is a disappointment. It's a disappointment in their behavior because you thought better of them, and they ended up doing something like that. And but with the Emperor, I really like that. Emperor is the number 4. It's in the Major Arcana. It's actually the 5th card, but it's labeled number 4. And we're in a 4 universal year where it's all about structure and foundation. And so with the Emperor, it is about getting your house in order. And that can be your emotional house as well. But it's a feeling of empowerment in the sense of things are under your control because you do have an orderly life. And I think that's a decision that you make based on perhaps emotional, grieving the loss of something, or an emotional disappointment that kind of took the wind out of yourselves perhaps at some point, and you're kind of coping with. And I think that the news that you hear that's kind of like on the earthy, tangible, Taurian kind of a level makes you feel more in control of your situation. Okay, Taurus, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, the link to my website is below. I'm at rainamoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.